Hey everyone, it's Melanie Ham. Welcome back to my channel. I'm coming to you from this super dark, dreary, rainy day in Southern California. Today I have got a mitten tutorial for you guys. Super excited to share this. This is what a really commonly asked question, a common tutorial request. So I'm really excited to bring it to you. It's beginner friendly, which is super cool. Now, if you're a beginner or really from any level, I recommend following along with the written instructions. Those can be found at my blog. They're linked below. And this is a nice long video, okay? So I'm gonna go through every single step, show you exactly how to do it, and just hit that pause button when you are kind of catching up and getting to the next step. So if you've made a few projects before, you're good to go for this project. This shouldn't be your first project, but if you've made a few things, you should be good to go for this easy crochet mitten. Please let me know in the comment section down below if you have any questions. I'd be happy to help you. Also check the blog posts for more information. And if you like this video, would you give me a thumbs up? Subscribe if you're not already. I really appreciate the support. Let's jump into the mitten tutorial. All right, everyone, let's get started on our mitten. Woohoo! Y'all have been asking me to make a mitten for like a long time now. So here's how it fits, how it looks. All right, so what we're gonna be doing is using 2 strands at one time. I am going to Montana and I needed some mittens to take with me on my trip. So I wanted it to be really cozy. I wanted it to be nice and dense and not have, air going through it very easily, but also be quick. Now this is a worsted weight yarn, but it's a slightly larger worsted weight yarn. So the hook that's recommended for this guy is a K. And I'm actually gonna still use the K, even with both strands, because I really want that nice dense stitch. And that's exactly what I did for this guy. So the first thing that we're gonna start doing is make our cuff. So here's sort of how it looks. Make a larger cuff. I wanted to be able to fold it over. I wanted it to be extra warm. Okay, so here is the label of this style of yarn. And I want you to notice that it says you can machine, wash, and dry. That is something I would definitely recommend for a mitten pattern. All right, we're gonna get started on our cuff. And I wanted to mention that you can check out the blog for all of the written instructions. So this one does utilize some more numbers and some things we need to keep track of when we are making this mitten. So you can check out the blog post for all the written instructions. I have an ad-free version for you there that you can print out really easily. And that's all there for you on the blog so that you can be very successful with this project. So for our cuff, we're going to start as always with a slip knot. All right. So this is a project that I would say is an advanced beginner. I think you should have made a couple of projects before you make this mitten, but this is not a difficult mitten at all. And if you've made a few things, you'll be able to follow along just fine if we are not using any crazy stitches or any very advanced techniques. All right, there was our slip knot. And now we're going to chain 16. So that's yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. That's what our foundation chain is going to look like. Make sure to let the hook do the work for you. Don't make it too loosey-goosey, but you also want to be able to put your stitches in there later on, so you don't want it to be too tight either. So here's chain 16. Now we're going to do a single crochet, and we're not going to place that single crochet in this foundation chain. It's going to be in this one. So it's kind of like the second one from the hook. Okay, single crochet is insert your hook. And when you're inserting your hook into that foundation chain, I like to go under both of those strands. So you're actually going underneath 4 strands of yarn, but if we were just doing, a single strand, it would be 2. So it's this top guy, and then there is a loop that's along the back side. Okay, so go underneath both of those, pull through, yarn over, pull through both loops. Okay, that's your single crochet. And we're going to do that all along the entire foundation chain, okay? So I'll show you a few more times. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both loops. All right, let's see it again. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both loops. And you're going to do that all the way down till we get to the end. I'll meet you there to show you the next step. Okay, and I'm going to put the cuff over here just so that we can have something to reference. I know sometimes when you start out small, you're not really sure how it's going. So, and then once you make your first mitten, what I do is I just keep comparing my second mitten to my first one. So I want to make sure that I'm keeping my tension around the same so that the sizing ends up being the same, because even if you started on a different day, sometimes you can be more relaxed or more tense, or you had a glass of wine or you had a glass of coffee, and sometimes that can change your tension. So we're going to finish up here. So we need our last single crochet. All right, then we're going to chain one. We're going to turn our work and we're going to do another row of single crochets. And so the way that this pattern is working up is 2 rows of single crochet, 2 rows of single crochet in the back loop. That gives it sort of this ridgy look. That's that back loop, but I'll go over that in a minute. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we did a chain one, but we need to put our stitch right here in this first stitch here. So we see that little V, insert our hook in there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. All right, so let's show you again. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And we're gonna do another row of single crochet going all the way down to the end. I'll meet you down here to make sure that you get the right amount, and I'll show you how to do this end piece. All right, so here we are coming down to the end. And we want to see how there's a single crochet right here from that previous row. So we want to make sure that we're getting our stitch on that. So right here, you see that little V shape. So we want to make sure that we're getting all the way to the end. So that's how it looks. Now we're going to chain one. We're going to turn our work, and now we're going to do the single crochet in the back loop only. And what that means is it's the same thing. It's still a single crochet, but instead of putting it in the V shape, which is typically what you do, we're going to only put it in that back loop. So we're going to insert our hook. Because we're doubling up those strands, it will be 2 strands of yarn. Although if you are not doubling up your yarn, it will just be 1. Okay, so we're going to insert in that back loop. So this is the front loop. This is the back loop. There are patterns that ask you to do things in the front loop, so it's good to know the difference between the two. And then we're going to single crochet. Okay, let's show you a few more times. The back loop. So when you crochet in the back loop, it kind of slows you down a little bit because you're having to really be careful about where you're placing that crochet hook. But it's not too bad. This is a nice, good size yarn. So now what we're going to do is do 2 rows of that back loop single crochet. And then we're going to alternate and go back and forth and so on until we reach our desired size. Go ahead and continue on. I'm going to do 2 rows of the back loop. So we'll go down to the end. We'll chain 1. We'll go back across doing the back loop. We'll finish up, chain 1, and then do 2 rows of single crochet. Definitely refer to the written instructions, but let's go ahead and continue working on our cuff. Okay, so here's our cuff, and once you reach 8 inches, that's when you'll stop. 8 inches. I like to have my hook down here on the right, fold it upwards because then we're going to slip stitch along the top. And then this is going to be the part where then the mitten goes out from. We're going to insert our hook into this first stitch and then also across into right here. So the stitch on the other side, which is actually the bottom of that foundation chain that we initially did here. So that's what it looks like on the other side. Then we're going to yarn over, pull through that stitch, and then pull through the loop on the hook. So inserting across to the other side, yarn over, pull through it all, and then also pull through the loop on the hook. Okay? Insert your hook, insert your hook across, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through the loop on your hook. That is the slip stitch. So you're going to do that all the way across till we get to the end. We're at the end. It's all closed up. We're going to start with the body of the mitten. And the mitten is actually going to be done with a half double crochet rather than a single crochet because I like that stitch a little bit better. So this is actually half double crochet, not a single crochet, but we did single crochet for here. So chain one. The way that it works is basically at the end of each of your initial rows, there needs to be a stitch. Just make sure that you're not doing too many or too few stitches. So you want to try to have it be at the end of each row. So here is the end of a row. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook, and this part can be a little bit tricky, but I want you just to make sure you have at least 2 strands that you're going underneath. Okay, now there's 3 loops on the hook. 6 because we've doubled up, but normally, 3. Yarn over, pull through all of them. Okay, so yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, all 3 loops. This is a half double crochet. Okay, so here's a row here, yarn over. Sometimes you might kind of have to finagle it and find a good spot. But don't worry. Okay, so that was here. So then there's another one here. You're going to do that going all the way around. See, this is how it looks. I'll meet you back when we get around to this end and show you what to do next. So as we're coming back around, we are going to do 5 rounds of half double crochet. So this was round number 1. We're going to do an additional 4 rounds. We aren't going to do a connection and a chain 1. We're just going to go ahead and keep doing it as a spiral. And so I'm going to skip this one and go ahead and put the next half double crochet right in the top of this guy, because this was like the chain 1. So we're going to avoid that and put our half double crochet here. I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to put it in here just so I know where that first round kind of ended, and it gives me a place to refer to. 1 half double crochet in every stitch going all the way around. All right, so we're going to yarn over and find the tops of those stitches, and this part's going to be so much easier than the time before because we can see where all of those little V's are is where we need to have a stitch. We've already figured out this join area, so you're just going to keep going as a spiral. Do your total of 5, and then I will walk you through the next step. I want you to notice something. So as I've been working through this mitten, I'm not really talking that much about stitch count, and the reason why is because I like to have you guys crochet by size a little bit more than by stitch count, because then that means you can use a different yarn if you want. So if you know that this cuff needs to be 8 inches and you want to use only 1 strand or a totally different yarn, then I'm not confusing you with telling you how many rows I did when you could be doing something different. As long as it equals 8 inches, you're good to go. So as we are coming in to begin our 6th round, okay, and so that would be here. So remember, this was finishing out the first round. That's where we put our marker. And you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're starting our 6th. This is where we need to do our thumb hole. So this is going to be the side. So here's my join. The thumb is going to come out here on the side. This is how it's going to work for that thumb hole. So we need to slip stitch 6 times, okay? So there's 6 stitches and that's where our thumb hole is going to be. So right here where the marker is going to be number 3. Okay, so slip stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that way the thumb hole is centered over the join. So that's inserting our hook, yarn over, pull through, continue pulling through the loop on your hook. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to pick back up with our half double crochet. All right, so finish that half double crochet. I'll meet you back where we started those slip stitches. Finish out all the way. So this is the first slip stitch here. So this is a half double crochet, so we need to do one more. Okay, so now what we're going to do is chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's going to kind of go over the top. See that? And we're going to just go ahead and continue with our half double crochet in this spot. So you see that? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, half double crochet in that 7th stitch, which is actually right on top of that half double crochet. So that's the beginning of our thumb hole. Go ahead and go all the way around, and then I'll show you what to do when you get back here. Came back around. Now what we need to do is half double crochet into each one of these chains. All right, so we don't want to mess with our stitch numbers or anything. We're just going to stitch right on top of them like it was a foundation chain. Yarn over and insert just like you would if it was a foundation chain, okay? And then continue your stitch. Yarn over, pull through all 3 of those loops. Yarn over, that's how it looks. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, all 3 loops. I'll show you one more time. All right, so this is our 8th round. So this was our 6th round, this was our 7th round, this is our 8th round. You're going to go ahead and do a half double crochet in every one of those stitches going all the way around. The next time I need to talk to you is the 10th round. All right, so do a couple more rounds, and when you're going in to start your 10th round, I'll meet you there. All right, I'm getting started on my 10th round. And the 10th round, you just need to do one little thing. Remember that this is going to be for my left hand. I want you to do 2 decreasing stitches on the palm side. So for me, because this is my left mitten, right? When we are coming back around and almost finishing the 10th round, we're going to do 2 decreasing stitches, which I will show you how to do. But let's say you were working on this as your right mitten. Then as you get started, you're going to do your decreases over here, because I want it to be on your palm side, because it just looks a little bit different than the rest of your stitches. It's very subtle, and it is not a huge deal if you don't do this. So whatever the palm side is, for me, I'm going to be coming back around on this side, and then I'll show you how to do those decreasing stitches. We just need to do 2 of them. All right, so we're coming back around my left side. So I'm going to do my decrease. It's going to be 4 stitches across. So we can see the thumb starts here. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I need to do 1 more half double crochet. Now a half double crochet decrease is yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over again, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. You will have 5 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over, pull through all 5. Okay, now the second decrease, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over the next hook, yarn over, pull through, 5 loops on your hook, yarn over all 5 loops. All right, so now you're going to continue with your half double crochet. And basically what that decreased is, it took those 4 stitches and now it's 2 stitches. So that's just going to slightly bring it in as we crochet along. So this was our 10th round. We're going to just do 1 half double crochet in each of the rounds until you get to the 13th round. This is my notes here. This is a great way to look at your pattern, okay? Because then the 13th row we're going to decrease 1. 14th round is regular, 15th row decrease 2, or wherever your pinky ends. So doing 2 decrease for this 15th round, 16th is normal, 17th round another 2 decreases, then finish up back here where we started, and then I'll show you how to cinch it up. Okay, we're finishing up the 17th round, and I just want to make this transition smooth, so we went from half double crochet, and here it is, finishing this up here, to a single crochet, which is slightly shorter, to then a slip stitch. Leave yourself a little bit of a tail and trim, and then we're going to pull that through. So here's our top of our mitten. We'll cinch this up, and this is going to be the same way that you cinch up the thumb, the tip of the thumb. Okay, so what we're going to do is thread this, insert, travel underneath 2 stitches, pull it up. Okay, go 1 stitch, travel under 2 stitches, up, back in after 1 stitch, up after 2, all right, and then once you get back around, you pull it and it cinches closed. Look at that. Now we need to make sure that this is nice and secure. So I'm going to begin to sew it together, but then I'm actually going to open this up and we need to flip it inside out. So here's the top, and we're going to go back and forth and just make sure everything is nice and secure. Find a couple of strands of yarn, put a little knot in there, and then once you feel confident that it is, and then we'll cut it. There's what the top looks like. Let's do our thumb hole. Here's the palm side. I'm going to attach here. Right here. I'm going to pull the yarn through. Okay, and then we could tuck those ends in there. You can also weave those in as you go, which is a great way to do it. Insert, pull up here. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to chain 1 just to give us a little extra wiggle room here. We're going to do 1 single crochet in all the stitches going all the way around in a spiral. So exactly like we've been doing. This should feel very familiar, but it's a little bit of a tight squeeze. So I'm going to show you kind of how it's going. All right, so single crochet, remember from our cuff is insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over both loops. And we're going to do that. So the top of this slip stitch here, we're going to count that as our stitch. Okay? So we need a single crochet in there. Okay, so do a single crochet in each stitch all the way around. I'll meet you back here. All right, when we get back around, see, here is where that first single crochet was. We're not going to slip stitch and chain 1 or any of that. We're going to do just like we did before with the spiral. So we're going to continue and do a single crochet right in the top of that stitch. All right, and after you get that first round complete, same thing, 1 single crochet in each round going all the way up. This is how it will be looking. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 rounds. This is already a pretty tight spot, so I did not do any decreases. So I just finished up my thumb, 2 inches wide. And 3.5 inches long. I'm going to cinch that up in just a second, but I wanted to go over how to weave in ends. Basically, the idea of weaving in your ends is just to make sure that everything is secure and easy for washing. I'm going to weave it through on the inside of the mitten. So you go one direction and then you can kind of go back the other direction just to make sure that it's nice and secure. Trim it, and then you're all set. All right, we are all done. Look at how much yarn is left. You can make another set of mittens if you want to, or a matching hat. There you go. It's like wearing a blanket on your hands. So fun. All right, what'd you guys think? That's pretty good, right? I made these for myself when I went to Montana last week, and they worked out really well. So I hope they work out just as well for you guys. Tag me on social media when you make some so I can see what you guys are working on and cheer you on. Thanks so much for watching this video. Matching hat coming in a couple of days. If you're watching this later, it's linked down below. Bye.